So there is going to be a lot of fun and interesting panels at Possible Miami, but I'm most excited to hear about women's sports. Sports in general has been a huge theme this year, but I truly believe women's sports is going to be positioned to be one of the greatest growth markets and investment opportunities from an advertising standpoint. Just in the last year, we've seen women's sports grow with the likes of Caitlin Clark, Simone Biles, Livvy Dunne, and they're drawing in attendance and participation. So it's going to be a great place for brands to connect with audiences that are active, diverse, and influential.
To talk a little bit about the evolution of CTV, how can advertisers and publishers work together to achieve CTV's full potential?
I mean, it's pretty clear that CTV is an incredible place to be, and it's growing at a very rapid pace. And I think a lot of it is due to the big streaming giants like Netflix, Amazon, Disney, Hulu. But I think there's a few ways that publishers and advertisers that come together. So first is really around collaboration around unified measurement. Right now, this is the biggest gap because the metrics aren't standardized. And the signals that are being sent back and forth are not the same across each publisher. So I think this is a great way for the ecosystem to come together and standardize metrics. And I think we'll start to see really the potential of CTV once that happens. The second for me is really ad fraud prevention, and this is non-negotiable, especially in the programmatic space. And I think we need to continue to maintain trust and transparency in CTV, and publishers and advertisers really need to work hand in hand to ensure that those prevention measures are in place. And then last but not least is really around experimenting with new revenue streams. And this is really the creative space that publishers can test and learn. So they can experiment with both mixed revenue models, something that's subscription-based, ad-supported based. This approach could really offer advertisers a unique way of targeting or subscription-based audiences or premium audiences, and it could be something really effective in terms of campaign targeting and performance.
How should advertisers best measure and optimize their investments?
I think this is going to be an ongoing evolution. There is no one size fits all, but I think there's a couple of ways that advertisers can think about it. So one is really suitability. Ensuring that advertisers continue to be in a place that's brand safe and contextually relevant to them. And that's going to be different for the type of advertiser and what market they're in. But I think working directly and transparently and optimizing towards value when it comes to contextual relevancy will be really key. The second, when we're starting to see this a lot, just with a lot of the creative components, is engagement. So traditionally, we look a lot around view through rate, which for CTV, those generally tend to be high. But now I think looking at things like interaction, especially if you're leveraging things like QR codes or clickable overlays or shoppable components, like how much time are consumers spending with your ad? And then really understanding the long-term benefits of it. So how much time is spent not only on the ad, but then on your website. And then what is the impact to other supporting channels? And how is cross-device measurement being impacted? So I think there's a few ways to really look at it. And then last but not least, ROI, which is what everyone is kind of looking at, which is very difficult to measure for CTV. So you want to make sure that you have the right conversion tracking in place, and then you're also using advanced attribution models. CTV isn't going to be a place where last click models are going to work. So you're going to have something a little bit more custom. And then really leveraging some sort of incrementality or geo-testing to isolate any true impact.
So, what role do you see AI playing in moving CTV forward?
Yeah, I think this is a good question. And AI is definitely the topic of the year, or the topic of the last 2 years. And I think it'll play in a couple of areas. One is targeting. AI is going to be able to analyze tons of viewer data, behavioral patterns, content preferences, demographics, all in real time. So I think it's going to enhance targeting capabilities, which is only going to be beneficial for both the publishers and the advertisers. Another area is really fraud detection. And this is kind of near and dear to my heart, but really being able to spot anomalies in real time, making sure that it can detect things like fake impressions or non-human traffic or any sort of discrepancies where you don't have to wait a day for reporting. So being able to do that in real time, I think AI will play a big role in that. One of the things that we're starting to implement is really around AI and reporting and attribution. So cross-platform attribution and reporting, really being able to tie in ad exposures to real-world outcomes. And then automating reporting. So, those are the days are gone where we're pulling reporting and looking at things manually. I think I really want AI to play where it's a little bit more back and forth, kind of like ChatGPT, like what publishers work best for me, what are the best times, et cetera. So I think it can play a huge factor in that piece.
Looking ahead, what are some of the key innovations or trends you expect to help shape CTV?
I'm really excited about some of the enhancements that are going to be coming to CTV. I think we're just at the beginning of it. And what I'm most excited to see is how shoppable and retail components are further going to be integrated with it. We're already seeing the ability to shop through CTV ads, but what I want to see more of is the in-scene components, as well as more AR and VR advancements. So I think that's what I'm most excited about.